TBISE, the best in sports entertainment. We have some great fights coming up, man. We have a few. Just want to run through a few, and maybe Manager Marty can kind of give us his opinion of winners, losers, outcomes of these fights. His opinion on what the other fighter needs to do to win the fight. So we'll start with Oscar Valdez is going up against Navarrete. Valdez 32-2, and Navarrete is 38-2. This seems to be a good fight. Something probably wanted to see a few years ago or so, but this fight, what's your thoughts?
Man, this is a rematch. This is the fight that we've been waiting for. I mean, these guys, they go in there and they give their all. And we know that Oscar Valdez, he fought Shakur Stevenson, and Shakur, basically just boxed circles around him and just basically won by a landslide.
Correct.
But this fight right here, Valdez is not going to go in this fight trying to fight him like he fought Shakur Stevenson. He's going to go in there and he's going to bang it out. And this is why we're having a rematch right now. These guys are going to get it in. They're going to stand toe-to-toe. I mean, they're going to come forward. And I think we're in for a really, really good treat December 7th. And may the best man win. And here's the thing. If it goes the other way, they can run it back for a rubber match the third time. Yeah. We shall see.
Correct. Also, Richard Hitchison is going to fight Paro. This fight is scheduled to take place December 7th as well. What's your thoughts on this fight here?
I mean, Hitchison, he's undefeated.
18-0.
18-0. What, he's got 9 knockouts?
Yeah.
9 knockouts, right? And he's going against a guy who just won the IBF championship title against a guy who everybody called the boogeyman at 140. And that was Matias. I mean, a lot of people didn't want to clamor to rush and fight, Matias, because Matias has so much power in both hands, and unfortunately he did wind up unintentionally killing a man in the ring and even making his opponents quit on their stool where they don't even come out for the next round. But Pero got in there. Pero got in there with no fear, let his hands go, worked, the body and the head, and then the head and the body of Matias, and he came out victorious. So now he's the IBF champion of the world, and he's making his mandatory first title defense against Hitchison. Now, here's the thing about Hitchison. He was just in there with a tough, rugged guy in Lemos, and Lemos had him hurt, especially in the later rounds. But Hitchison came out, and he got the victory. But now, this Brooklyn native Hitchison, he's going to be in there with a tough fight against Pero. I mean, these guys are really, really going to fight. I mean, if you look at the press conference, you look at the face-off, it seems like these guys really don't like each other. I mean, they've been going at it for like the last couple of weeks, but we need to see Hitchison go in there and try to outbox Pero. All of that trying to bang it out with him to prove a point, I don't think that's a good strategy for Hitchison. I know he's Brooklyn bred, and I know there's a certain pride that Brooklyn fighters have, like Shannon Briggs and Riddick Bowe and Zab Judah and those guys, and Mike Tyson, of course, from Brownsville. But Hitchison is a really good fighter. He's a prospect, and he has an opportunity to become a world champion. I suggest he go in there and try to outbox Pero, because Pero is not going to stop. Yeah. His conditioning is his gift. He kept coming at Matias. He kept coming at his former opponents, and he don't stop. He don't give up, and he let his hands go. And I'll tell you what, Hitchison, he has to land that right hand. That right hand became a problem for Pero in the last fight, but I'm going to tell you something. I give this fight a 50-50, to be honest with you, man. This is a 50-50 fight, and I think that with this fight right here, whoever wins this fight definitely deserves to be the world champion. And guess what? If it comes to a point where it's close, man, I can see these guys running it back for a rematch. We shall see.
Yeah, we shall see. Saturday, December 21st, we got a major fight on our hands. You got Fury, Usyk. They are going back into, get it in. Now, this fight, man, this is a fight where I believe Usyk is top of the pound-for-pound list.
Oh, yeah.
Fury's right there as well. Your thoughts on this fight?
I'm going to tell you straight off the bat right now. I don't think there's a heavyweight out there right now that can beat Usyk. I mean, Usyk can box. A lot of people don't give him credit for his boxing ability because he's a big guy. And you see a lot of heavyweights, they go in there, they try to bang it out, and then they try to just knock you out because they do have a lot of power, most of them in both hands. But Usyk has a lot of boxing skills. He does a lot of those small, subtle things to show how much technique that he has. And he was getting, beaten to the punch in the first, four rounds consecutively against Tyson Fury in the first fight. But he came back. He did not give up on his game plan. So that's another strength of the mental fortitude that Usyk has. I mean, he don't give up on a game plan and he doesn't quit. Fury, on the other hand, he was playing around a lot. He kept walking around, moving back with his hands down. The same things we've seen Fury do in the past in previous fights, where he gets so relaxed and so comfortable because he's up 2, 3, 4 rounds that he can stand there, laugh, lick his tongue out, walk around with his hands down. And in this rematch, Fury hopefully learned his lesson. He can't go in there and play around with Usyk because he had Usyk hurt a few times. But Usyk landed some big shots as well, man. These guys are going to bang it out. If Fury wins this fight, it's going to be because Fury let his hands go and he didn't go in there taking those opportunities for granted where he had Usyk hurt. He's going to have to go in there and take Usyk out if he gets him hurt. All Usyk got to do is stick to his game plan and outbox the bigger, stronger Fury. And guess what? He had Fury hurt in that last fight. Yeah. So guess what? It might be a situation where Usyk gets Fury hurt and Fury, basically land on the ground. Again, we've seen him land on the ground several times and might not get up. We shall see. I mean, look, Ngannou knocked Fury down. Yeah. So it's nothing for Usyk to knock him down. This is going to be a really, really intriguing fight. And I think the fighter who stayed focused throughout the entire duration of this fight and maintain their game plan, they're going to come out victorious and they will be undisputed as the heavyweight champion of the world. And I think Usyk has the goods to do it all over again.
Yeah, I agree. Another fighter, super bantam weight, Inoue is returning. He's been on a tear. He's fighting Goodman. What's your thoughts on Inoue? I mean, just Inoue as you can't really say too many bad things about Inoue other than he won't ever fight in the United States.
That's the only thing I want to say about the guy. I want to see him fight in America. Now, I don't know if certain commissions or athletic commissions will approve the Winnipeg gloves that he keep wearing. Those special gloves that they allow him to wear over in Japan. But he's going to have to come over here soon. Yeah. But there's nothing I can say bad about Inoue. He's a really, really good fighter, top notch. He did get knocked down now. Don't get it twisted. He got knocked down and his chin was tested. In this fight, I think that he can definitely win this fight. I want to see him step up in level of competition and even fight in America because styles make fights. And when he come over here and compete with guys that have that American style, we don't know if it's going to give him problems or not. Yeah. You have to be a little bit more battle tested. And we shall see. And speaking of battle tested, Cool Boy Steph, he's also fighting on the undercard of David Benavidez.
Yeah, can't forget that.
And David Morrell. And
Correct.
He fought in a way, and it didn't look too good for him going to another country, and he got knocked down and TKO'd.
Correct.
But he's bounced back. He's making a resurgence in his career, and he's going to get back in the ring in a rematch against Brandon Figueroa. And the first fight was so close.
Correct.
I mean, they were getting it on, man. I was rooting for Cool Boy Steph. We call him Scooter here in the city of Philadelphia, and we rooting for him again.
Correct.
But he's going to have his hands full against Figueroa. It's not going to be a walk in the park. But we're starting to see Fulton, Scooter, like really settle in to knowing who he is as a fighter and sticking to his skill set. And I think that he can, this time, outbox Figueroa instead of trying to go in there and bang with him because he was going in there banging it out with Figueroa. Correct. And of course they're fighting in another weight class. So we shall see in that fight as well. That's going to be an intriguing rematch. We got a lot of good boxing coming up, man. We'll see.
Yeah, and to close out the year, December 30th, got, King Ryan returning 8 rounds, catch weight 153 pounds. He just coming to collect the check, as you said. Oh, yeah. What's your thoughts on him getting that check? He's fighting Enpo.
I mean, I agree with him. I mean, look, go in there, get the check, fight in another country, because we know right now Ryan Garcia is still suspended. He cannot compete anywhere in the States of America. So his best bet is to go out there and go and try to secure a bag for himself, because obviously he hasn't fought since April, but he had to give up his purse back to Golden Boy Promotions because that was the terms and conditions of his suspension. So he really didn't get a chance to even enjoy the monies that he earned beating Devin Haney. But not only just getting the check, also staying active.
Yeah.
So this fight, even though it's an exhibition and it's against a guy who's not really a professional boxer, it keeps him in shape. It keeps him acclimated to staying focused. And also, it prepares him for whatever he's going to do coming up in 2025, whether it be April, May, because he'll be coming off a suspension in April of 2025, or even after that, because we want to see Ryan Garcia getting the big fights. And speaking of Ryan Garcia, and I have to say this before we go, Tank Davis was even asked about fighting Ryan Garcia in a rematch at the press conference, not on the stage, but actually in the subsequent interviews that he's conducted. And he said that he's not opposed to being in the ring again with Ryan Garcia for one of the 3 fights towards the end of 2025. So if Ryan Garcia can look good, which I believe he will, at the end of this month, come back to America probably in April or May, fight some really, tough competition and look good, hey, maybe him and Tank can duke it out again, but then the problem's going to be the weight.
Correct.
I mean, we seen that last time he had weight issues. He didn't make the weight on the scales against Devin Haney, and he tried to have a shortcut. And that's not going to work with Tank, because you know what Tank going to do. Put him on paper and make him do another rehydration clause, and then the fight's going to end the same way it did the first time. But we want to see more of Ryan Garcia be a little bit more competitive, step up his level of competition, and heck, he can get back in the ring with Devin Haney. Why not? We shall see.
We shall see. You heard it here first, man. It's TBISE, the best in sports entertainment.